Cloudflare treats DNS and DNSSEC a little bit differently for two specific reasons. One would be the how, and the other would be the why. So the how is different because of two things: our scale, just the number of domains that are on Cloudflare, and then also the distributed nature of our architecture. So there's a lot of other DNS providers out there that have, potentially more domains than us in terms of the customer base they serve, but they run a much more centralized architecture. And then there's also other providers out there that run equally as distributed networks as Cloudflare, but the difference being that they don't have nearly the number of customers they serve. So it's sort of twofold in terms of the how Cloudflare has to approach DNS differently than many other people out there in the market. The other, and I think this is actually a slightly more interesting question, is the why that Cloudflare does this. So the reason why Cloudflare has to treat DNS and DNSSEC differently is because of our core mission, which is actually to build a better internet. So there's a lot of providers in the market that are interested in getting into DNS, getting into DNSSEC because they want to expand their product portfolio. Cloudflare does this because we believe that both of these core internet technologies should be for everyone. They should be for the masses. And so the reason why we do this is in order to sort of push forward the adoption of these technologies. We need to question the assumptions that were made because when these specifications were written, they didn't necessarily take into account the challenges that we were going to approach. So a lot of the solutions that were previously created worked for maybe models that were a little bit more simple than the Cloudflare infrastructure. And so when we came at this problem, we actually had to sort of rework the way that we were thinking about it and think about it in a completely different environment. Cloudflare runs a very unique architecture, and we sit in a very unique place in the internet. And so the solutions that we've come up with make a lot of sense for us, and they make a lot of sense when you take into account those two ideas from the first question, which was running at a very large scale of customers and running a very highly distributed network. Now, at Cloudflare, we believe that this is sort of the future, right? That everyone is going to be running on some service provider's highly distributed content delivery network, right? So the only reason why you would want to look to us is because everyone's going to adopt this sort of architecture going forward in the future.